Hello students, in today's class we will going to see one of the important biological micromolecule, that is carbohydrate, and particularly we are going to focus on its classification. So just let's start with this. First we will see what do you mean by carbohydrates. Carbohydrates are the most abundant biomolecules on the earth which is synthesized by the photosynthesis with the carbon dioxide and water molecules and producing the cellulose and plant products. It's having an empirical formula CH2ON, N for the number of times. Carbohydrates play an important role in our life in the form of dietary staple, energy yielding pathway, in the form of structural and protective elements in case of cell wall of bacteria, plants, as well as connective tissue of animals. It's going to function as a skeletal lubricating skeletal joints for the purpose of recognition and adhesion between the cells, as well as in signaling in the form of glycoconjugates. So when we talk about carbohydrates, chemically these are being the type of group of molecule which is having carbonyl compounds. So we could say that carbohydrates, these are the polyhydroxyaldehyde or ketones, or the substances which get produces this polyhydroxyaldehyde or ketone on its hydrolysis. If we see the general term for the carbohydrate, this is called as a saccharides. So why saccharide particularly? So saccharides is due to the reason because it is sweet in taste, and so that's what is sugars, and this term, that is saccharides, comes from the Greek word that is saccharon meaning the sugar. So that's why the carbohydrates called as the saccharides. Now we will move on with the how the carbohydrates are get classified. So classification of carbohydrate, it is based upon that what is the number of sugar molecules are present. In case of monosaccharides, disaccharides, oligosaccharides, polysaccharides. So in case of monosaccharide, it is having one sugar molecule. In case of disaccharide, it is having two sugar molecule. Oligo, 2 to 10 sugar molecule. Poly, 10 or more sugar molecule. So we could understand here that based upon what is the number of sugar molecules are present, the carbohydrate have been classified. Now further we will see that as this classification is based upon the size, what is the number of monomer units are present. In case of monosaccharides, it is a simple sugar, and so that's what is having a single polyhydroxyaldehyde or ketone unit. And the example which has been very familiar and popular among this category, it is with the glucose. So it is a 6-carbon sugar, and this comes under the category of monosaccharide. The oligosaccharide, which is going to have the monomers 2 to 20. So the disaccharides are there. So it is a 2 monomers present in the disaccharides, and the example of most abundant disaccharide, that is sucrose, composed of D-glucose and D-fructose, having a joining between each other and forming the disaccharides of 2 monomers. The third category of polysaccharides, it's composed of more than 20 monomers. So they are get classified based upon that which type of polymeric nature of monomers are present. Like it is a starch, or it might be a glycogen which comes under the category of energy storage type of polymers, or it may be a type of cellulose or pectin which may be a type of structural polymers. So we will see in details further. So we start with here the monosaccharides. So as monosaccharides, these are the simple sugars. So simple sugars means it cannot be further hydrolyzed. Chemically, this is having a crystalline solid nature, having solubility in water, and as it is a simple sugar, it is having a free aldehyde or ketone group, which is a single aldehyde or free ketone group is there. The general formula is CnH2ON. And generally this is end with the suffix called as O's. O's like glucose, fructose, ribulose, like that way. Now, when we talk about that, it's may going to have the aldehyde or ketone group. So when we call it as a aldehyde and when we call it as a ketone group. So the presence of this carbonyl group, if it is at the top, so it is called as aldosis. And if it is a ketosis, so it is not at the top, but the carbonyl group is any other place in the chain. So that's why called as either the aldosis or the ketosis. Then further monosaccharides are classified based upon what are the carbon atoms are present and what is its number. So Depending upon that, like it is a 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 carbon atoms are there. So accordingly it called as trioses for 3, tetroses for 4, pentoses having 5, hexoses having 6, heptoses having 7, and like that way. And as previously we said that either it may be a aldoses or ketoses depending upon the functional group present. So it's having an example of glucose, fructose, erythrulose and ribulose. We will further see some of the more examples with its structure also. So see this first example. This is 2 trioses. So trioses are there, it means it's having a 3 carbons, and one of them it is a aldose, one of them is a ketose. So glyceraldehyde, it is a aldotriose. See the position of carbonyl group, and this one is a dihydroxyacetone, which is going to have the carbonyl group not present at the top. So this is being the ketotriose. The other example it is of hexoses. Hexoses, it is for the 6 carbon compound having the presence of carbonyl group at the top. So this is a glucose and which is called as aldohexose. Here in this case of fructose, it has been worked as the ketose. So it is a ketohexose. The other examples comes for the pentoses. Pentoses having the 5 carbon compound. So this is a ribose sugar and this is a deoxyribose sugar, and these are the major components of the nucleic acid. Now further we'll move on with the oligosaccharides. So what are oligosaccharides? So those sugars which yield 2 to 10 molecules of same or different type of monosaccharides on hydrolysis. Means what is the number here? The number will be more than 2 up to 10, and it may be of same type or it may be of different type. So when it is been more than 2, so there should have some linkages to link with each other and forming a chain. So it is joined by the glycosidic linkages. How the further oligosaccharides are get classified? So of course it is number, because it is more numbers are there. So 2 to 10. So it is get classified based upon what is being the number. So based upon the number, it is classified as disaccharides, trisaccharides and tetrasaccharides. If there are 2 molecules, it will be a disaccharide. If there are 3 molecules, it will be a trisaccharide. It will be a 4 molecules of monosaccharides, it will be a tetrasaccharides, and like that way. The general formula for disaccharide is CnH2O(n-1), and for trisaccharide it is CnH2ON-2. Could see that carbohydrates having the general formula is what? It is CnH2ON. So here it is N-1 and N-2 for the trisaccharide. So like that way it is goes for the further tetrasaccharides and like that way. So the examples comes under this category. For disaccharides, sucrose, lactose, maltose. For trisaccharides, raphinones and rabinones. We will see the disaccharides here. So disaccharides, so the 2 monosaccharides which are joined together with the glycosidic linkages. Now this is more important, that what do you mean by this glycosidic linkage? So the glycosidic linkage, it is been the linkage which is formed between the 2 carbons. And how it is formed? So it is formed when a hydroxyl group of one sugar, it is going to react with the anomeric carbon of the other. So that will going to form the glycosidic linkages. But these glycosidic linkages are not permanent. So this could also be hydrolyzed by the acid also, but it could resist the cleavage by the alkali treatment. So this glycosidic bond, it is going to form between the anomeric carbon of a sugar and to that of a nitrogen atom in case of glycoproteins or in case of nucleotides. So we see the examples of maltose here. So maltose is a disaccharides and which is been composed of the 2 of the glucose. One is that of a alpha D glucose and another is a beta D glucose. And the linkage between these 2, it is the alpha 1,4 linkages. So you could see here the C1 carbon of 1 and this carbon number 4, it is going to form a linkage between the 2 and that is going to form the alpha 1,4 type of linkages. So it is the disaccharide, that is maltose. Now we will see some of the other representative disaccharides. In milk, it's having the presence of sugar called as lactose. So lactose is being a disaccharides composed of galactose and glucose and by having the beta 1,4 type of linkages. The other example is of sucrose. Sucrose is very important disaccharide and this is the most abundant disaccharides and having the non-reducing nature. Now what do you mean by non-reducing nature? So here is the case that there is free anomeric carbon is not present. So this has been in this cycle, this has been in this complex formation of alpha 1 and beta 2 type of linkages between the glucose and fructose. And so that's why this is being called as a non-reducing sugar, as this is not having the type of hemiacetyl group is present. The other example is of trihalose. Trihalose, it is being the sugar which is present in the circulating fluid of insects, and it is composed of these two monomer units linked with alpha 1 linkages between the glucose, and the composition of this trihalose, it is due to this alpha 1 type of linkages. And now further we'll move on with the polysaccharides. Polysaccharides also known by name called as a glycans. So polysaccharides, as we say, that it is having more than 10 monosaccharides units. It could be from 10 to 100 in a length. When it undergo hydrolysis, it can yield more than 10 molecules of monosaccharides. So the polysaccharides differ from each other based upon different type of parameter, like identity of their recurring monosaccharide unit, what is the length of their chain, what is the type of bond linking unit, and what is been the degree of branching. Also the classification is based upon its function. So whether they are going to have a structural function or whether they are going to have the work as a energy storage purpose. Further, the polysaccharides are get classified based upon that what is the result of their hydrolysis. So whether it is been the same type of monosaccharides units, so that's why it is called as a homopolysaccharides. When it is a different type of monosaccharides units, so it is called as a heteropolysaccharides. So what is homopolysaccharides? So homopolysaccharides containing the monosaccharides of the same type, and heteropolysaccharides are those which are having the monosaccharides of different types. So you could see here in homopolysaccharides we have the same type of monomeric unit. So here this is unbranched and this one is the branch structure. In case of heteropolysaccharides, we have the different type of monomer units. So it is a two monomer units are there, and this is the unbranched structure. So that's why it comes under the category of hetero. In case of heteropolysaccharides also, more than two types of monomer units are present. Like here, the different color blue, then it is going to have a pink, and then it's going to have the green. So different polymers are there, and it is also going to show the branching over here. So this is comes under the heteropolysaccharides. So we'll see the examples of homopolysaccharides. Under the energy storage polymers, it comes starch and glycogen. Under the structural, it is having cellulose and pectin. Heteropolysaccharides, it's for the purpose of extracellular support and comes examples of hyaluronic acid as well as the bacterial cell wall structure. So we will see the homopolysaccharides. So homopolysaccharides which works for the energy storage purpose. So it's starch in case of plants and glycogen in case of animals. So see here the structure of starch. So it is composed of glucose molecules get linked with each other, and the linkage is alpha 1,4 type of linkages. It's also showing the branching. Then under the structural category of homopolysaccharides, the examples of cellulose, chitin, pectin, and see the structure of cellulose here. So it is a linear chain of glucose molecules linked with beta 1,4 type of linkages. So it is a linear chain type of polysaccharides, and this is starch is the branch type of polysaccharides. But both comes under the category of homopolysaccharide because the monomeric unit is same and it is a repetitive unit. Then under the heteropolysaccharides category, we take the example of bacterial cell wall. So it is composed of two different type of monomeric unit. And what are those? Those are the N-acetylglucosamine and N-acetylmuramic acid. So these two different, these are get linked with beta 1,4 type of linkages. So this is a branch type of structure of heteropolysaccharides composing the bacterial cell wall. Then the next one is a hyaluronic acid. So hyaluronic acid, it is been again a heteropolysaccharides of composing of D-glucuronic acid and N-acetylglucosamine. And the linkages is here beta 1,4 as well as the alpha 1,4 type of linkages. So this has been very important type of polysaccharides which has been having their presence in various types of biomolecules. So I hope students that you might have get an idea regarding the carbohydrates, that carbohydrates generally classified based upon the number of sugar molecules they having. So monosaccharides having 1, disaccharides having 2, oligosaccharides having 2 to 10, and polysaccharides having 10 to more. So it is for today's class regarding the classification of carbohydrates, and in the next class we will going to see some more details regarding the various examples of carbohydrates and its structure. Thank you.